What's good, everyone? Trataros here with another Jets episode of the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. And what means always my buddy, my coach, my pal, the man with a plan, the one and only, the man who's alive. He's back from the grave again. I don't know how this is happening. Back from the grave again. He's ready for this time.
I'm back.
He's ready. He's ready for more pain. He's ready for more.
I'm ready, son. I'm ready.
He's ready
Bring
for
me
us.
on the Titans.
He's ready to take on the team that stole the New York Jets' original name. Tennessee Titans, because we were the New York Titans, so now it's our turn to give them the payback. So, John, how you doing today, my man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. We got the Yankees losing on cold day right now. We got the Red Sox winning, so baseball evening out after a glorious day yesterday. Knicks, everything is good in Knicks land. No stories. They're trying to make stories. They can't find them. Life is good.
Don't worry, because you got the team across the bridge who apparently can't
plenty
keep it
of
together.
Stories. But there's really no stories. You know what I mean? Everything's okay in Knicks land, but dude, everything is an absolute disaster in Jets land. And how am I doing? I'm not sure I've processed Marcus Maye yet. But I'm doing. I am. Sunday's gonna be an interesting game. It's gonna be as that guy from LA likes to say, it's definitely gonna be a part of the poop factor this weekend. But how you doing, man? How's everything? And I think you lost the contest with your cats, man. What's the update on the cats?
The update with the cats is that according to the vet, they don't have ringworm, but we have to wait another 2 weeks just to confirm, just to get another test to confirm, because you need 2 weeks for ringworm.
Okay, so we're not clear. So the Jets could still get that W.
The Jets could still get that W.
Okay.
The Knicks could still get that W. But the good news is that we don't have to do all the hyper cleaning. We don't have to give them the lime sulfur bath. We don't have to give them the ointments anymore. Just finish the medication. We can just sit on the couch. I can actually go back to the couch now and watch games instead of watching it in here. Instead of on this TV, I get to actually use the fucking 62-inch television that I have, and not watching it go to collect dust every single. Actually, it's not truly collecting dust because we have to clean it more than usual because of the cats. But I get to use it. It's not acquiring dust. There you go.
I love that. In other news, I'm fully booked for my London trip for
there we go
for the Jets. So it's gonna be an interesting time, man. It's gonna be an interesting time, and I'm really hoping that we have a win going into that game.
Me too.
But it's gonna come against a pretty frisky Tennessee Titans team, man. So we had the rapid reaction from Denver. We haven't really talked much about the Titans on this podcast. But let me just ask you about the Jets from week 1 to week 3 and from their practice week, and just any updates from your perspective on the Jets besides the injuries. We'll get into the injuries, but from your perspective, like, did anything change? You still feel the same way? I know that Zach Wilson came out today. He acknowledged kind of what me and you were yelling about, but more so you've been preaching that you need to just get the confidence dink and dunks in. Trent Dilfer was going on and on about that this week, about how the plays are open. Like, I know there's that one screenshot, and oh my goodness, can we stop with this screenshot on Jets Twitter? Like, we just love screenshots. We're the only football franchise with screenshots, and all of a sudden it's whatever. Anyway,
we're the only team with screenshots, with TikToks, and like, as entertaining as it can be in that sphere for that immediate reaction. The reality is that we can't keep like bagging on all these players. It's like, it's funny. It's funny because like the TikTok ones, like, at least there's like something going on with it. It can be a little like too much slander. Like, it's just funny, like the instant reaction. But other than that, like, we shouldn't take it as like gospel. Like, oh my God, this kid is right. Or like when you see a screenshot, like, oh my God,
yeah, LaFleur
Connor McGovern stopped blocking. There's more.
Yeah.
Like, let's learn more about it. Let's put it into context. I actually like what you've been doing, cutting up some film and put it out on Twitter, and like sharing like what Sheldon Rankins is doing. How bad Ryan Griffin is. So please keep doing it. Jets Twitter needs it.
Yeah, well, because I'm so frustrated because it's like I'm watching a completely different game from everybody else. Like our video producer Greg, he is convinced that I have a sickness. That I am an addict for the New York Jets, but just like the fact that I think they have a chance, like he thinks I'm an addict because he's like, how do you week to week keep thinking this team has a chance? And it's because I know what I'm watching, right? So, for example, in that play where that screenshot play where there's 3 receivers, on the same level, if you just zoom out a little bit, there's also another player running down the left sideline, but that's neither here nor there. It's obviously a wide receiver issue. Like, it's obviously that they met. There's no way the play is drawn where all 3 players are on the same level. You know what I mean? So like,
it's not real.
And they ran a very similar play in the same game where they had the 3 different levels as well. So they literally reran the play because they're like, yo, you messed that up. Let's try to run that again. You know what I mean? So I think that LaFleur is competent. And for example, in the second quarter, right? It was 10-0. And it's very similar. There's these drives that the Jets have where they're really flipping the whole game. Mm-hmm. And like you said, man, it's all about how he's trying to take the touchdown plays, the 45-yard plays, which the receiver should catch. Because it's in their hand. But either way, they were open players because the problem is he's doing that on first and second down to get the third down. And he was talking about that all offseason, right? Zach Wilson is talking about how it's all about getting short third downs, and you can see in the gameplay, right? Like I was breaking down tape, offline to you, and I was showing it to you, right? Like first and second down, they're working so well. They're dinking and dunking, and they're doing that to get the third down. But once he gets the third down, he kind of is looking for that big play, right? Oh, it's 3rd and 4, 3rd and 6. Let me go for that. And even though he has players open, so he came out today and he actually acknowledged that. So I was really happy that he confirmed that. So for me, that's the one thing that I saw after the Denver game and now that kind of confirmed and gave me some confidence, right? Like that for me is where I'm personally, like, as a Jets fan, that's my explanation from where I'm building confidence as to, like, the defense was good and everybody's so worried about the offense, like, and everyone's worried about Zach Wilson. On the Zach Wilson front, I think he learned from it, and I think there was a lot of mistakes, wide receiver mistakes, but from his mistakes, I think he could learn from it. And
yeah, for sure.
There's just, let's wait and see, of course.
For sure. And like, I agree. Like, there are some plays where he is like dinking and dunking, but for the most part, he's not dinking and dunking. For the most part, he's trying to be aggressive on most plays, first down, trying to get the first down again. It's like, no, just work the field. Like, get the short third down. And it works in your advantage to a certain degree. When you get the short third down, you can convert those third downs because you keep the defense out there longer. You make them work harder, and they're going to get gassed by the time you're ready for that big play. This is where we watch guys like, and I hate saying his name, but like Bill Belichick, right? Where he knows, like, I'm going to work these guys. I'm going to work these guys for like 7-8 plays. And then once they're tired after 7-8 plays, that's when they're going to things can start opening up because they're tired.
It's so funny. I know you didn't listen to it. And so I'm just going to give you, your kudos, because Trent Dilfer was literally on the Russillo podcast today talking about how, in order for Zach Wilson to learn, they should put on Tom Brady tape and show him the same exact plays that Zach Wilson's running, because they're running the same plays that actually New England's running, and how he's taking the dinks and dunks and how you're not. And even though they're open, and he's like, this is how Tom Brady does it. It's the same plays. Like, are you better than Tom Brady? It's so funny because I know you didn't listen to it. I know you didn't watch it. And Trent Dilfer today was saying the same exact things. So it's just like, take the positive yardage. Like, you want to give me 6 yards? Give me 6 yards. Like, just I don't want to fight for the 12-yard or the 18-yard throw. Like, just give me the 6-yarder.
No, man, and you're right. I didn't watch it. I was unfortunately in a meeting. So, yeah. But no,
I'm just saying.
It just makes sense though. Like, why are we? Everyone wants to see the home run play, but that's so college, dude. The home run play is so college. Like, there's so much talent in college.
You know what I'm saying?
When you have great O lines, playing no defenses, and you get to chuck it to like your homies just going down the field.
For real, like, it's literal homies.
but that's the thing. You pointed me to the podcast today where you got to listen to Rex, where I listened to Rex Ryan on Part of My Take, and he even goes into saying, why is it so hard to win with a rookie quarterback? Well, it's because they're not men yet. They're boys coming into a man's league. We're talking about guys who are vets, whether it's even just 1 year under your belt, like you have that now, that one true off season, right? The true off season. You get to hit the weight room. You're another year older. You're more seasoned. You get to learn the playbook more in depth. You get to understand the nuances of the game, right? Whether it's like a corner, understanding like, oh, I'm looking at the wide receiver. If I'm looking at his eyes, his pupils are going to be wide open if the ball is in the air. And I know it's for him. Stuff like that. That's where you start to learn and get a mastering of the game. Zach Wilson's not there yet. And it's very rare. We see the Russell Wilsons, we see, all these other quarterbacks who are rookies that come in and just like light the world on fire. And that's just not the norm. So we have to understand that Zach Wilson is going to have his hiccups like we've seen the last 2 weeks, but show like what he did in the first week, saying the kid's there. Like he has a talent, but it's a learning experience. It's going to take time for him. And like that's nothing to be upset about, but you got to put him in position, as Rex Ryan also said, to be successful. So like, what did he do with Sanchez? It's like the kid's not ready to be that guy. So we got to run it and have like a really good defense if we're going to stay in the game. Right. So for the Jets, we actually have a defense. Granted, we've lost a lot of guys on defense, but our defense has still been holding up.
Oh man.
But
we lost.
But I know. But I'm just saying, like, we still, like, even up until this point, we still saw how good the defense was and was still holding us in games, which is just still getting me ready for next season when hopefully everyone's healthy again. And I can only imagine how dominant this defense can be at this point, especially if our offense is just clicking and keeping the defense off to stay fresh. It's going to be a game changer. But this is where you see, like, this is the concern that we talked about when we had Richie Moore on here from Jets Media, right? It's that we're putting that pressure back on Zach Wilson, because if the defense can't stay on the field, if the defense can't stop by losing the guys, which they're actually doing to this point, it's actually not even the defense, but you want to put Zach Wilson in the position to succeed, which is giving him a good running game, giving him time to operate, giving him passes to complete. So it's all coming together and seeing, like, all right, let's do the dink and dunks. Let's get the run game going. How do we establish this? We also mentioned, like, the offensive line needs to be revamped. Everyone's now seeing it's like Connor McGovern, like Greg Van Roten. These guys are just not it. We have to upgrade at that position. So overall, I'm trying to get at, even though I know I'm going on a little tangents, is that we need to for this season.
Let it all out, man. Let it all out.
This is therapy, man. This is truly group therapy for Jets fans. This is what we've been doing for the last 11 years. So welcome, guys. Welcome. Sit down. The cup of coffee is right over there on the table. Please grab it. We're going to ask you to share stories soon too about being a Jets fan. But no, man, it's like, this is just what I want to see. And I think based on what Rex Ryan said, like, get the run game going, have a solid defense. We have the defense. Let's try to get the run game going, because our run blocking is actually not that bad. It's actually pretty decent. So if we can get that going,
we've been killing it against really good running teams.
Yeah, and if we can get that going, like, don't look at Denver. Denver's actually really, like, Denver's a really good team. Like, watching them play.
Denver, we stopped both their dominant running backs as well. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they had
yards
their way to run.
Yeah, but they had under 3 yards per average.
Yeah, no, they did have under 3 yards per average.
It was
but
like 3.3 or whatever it was.
Right. No, I understand that, but still, like, I know you can only ask so much from the defense when they're constantly on the field and not getting a break.
Cornerbacks haven't let out a touchdown yet. There are some positive bright spots, but man, it was all run around Marcus Maye, bro. It was all run around Marcus Maye. He had 100% of the snaps. Like,
yeah, and so
there's no hiding that. There's really no hiding it.
Well, before we get into Marcus Maye, the last thing I just want to say is that let's try to get the run game going for Zach Wilson. Let's try to get him into the pass, short dink and dunks.
Yeah, he will.
Next year, what we see is that what needs to be upgraded is going to be I know I'm saying this now, but it's just
forget next year, bro. Forget next year, dude. Forget next year, because we have to worry about week 3, bro.
Week 4.
Week 4. Sorry, I just want my first win. I assumed it was coming in week 3. But you're right, week 4, and already Elijah Moore is out with a concussion, right? And he hasn't been officially ruled out. It's Wednesday right now, but he has a concussion. Didn't practice. Not looking good. We're hoping that Jamison Crowder comes back. What are we gonna do, man? What are we gonna do at wide receiver? Where is it gonna come from? Is Denzel Mims coming back? You tell me.
Stop this. I think
they might bring out.
They might ask
We have Jeff
Wayne.
Smith. Jeff Smith is also out. We don't know, but he got into a car crash this week.
Oh yeah,
Today,
that's right.
And he didn't practice. So I mean, we're talking 5 receivers. Is Denzel gonna make it? Is he gonna dress this week?
Well, look, man, I know everyone was joking about all the wide receivers running on the same line last week for the in route and saying, well, talk about having to know the playbook, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, I would hope so at this point. Like you put out, I'm asking for our one of our most talented wide receivers to get on the field at this point because we just need him. Give Zach Wilson a weapon, like a guy who has like a good catch radius, guy who has good speed, who can get open. Just give him like easy plays, like to put him out there. I'm not asking for Denzel Mims to be out there. And I'm not saying Denzel Mims would be the game changer for all these games that we lost.
Sure.
But just give him a weapon out there to help him. Like he needs some sort of help. So give him that help. But I hope he dresses. If it's not now, man, I don't know when it's gonna be. I can tell you that. But I would hope so with Jeff Smith. If they bring up Vincent Smith from the practice squad to put in over Denzel Mims, that is hurtful.
That would be tough. Yeah,
that is hurtful. That is hurtful. So I hope so. I really do hope so. I think at this point you just have to think that he is, especially with Crowder and now Jeff Smith. So who knows? Right, only the coach knows.
At least some positive news. Ashton Davis. On the defense, he's back. Niesman, I think he's going to be our other starting safety because Marcus Maye, he has an ankle, Alex, okay? He has an ankle, and he's been ruled out for 3 to 4 weeks, suspiciously right before the trade deadline. I'm not going to put on a tinfoil hat. I love Marcus Maye.
Put on the tinfoil hat. I know you want to. Do it.
His agent hates the Jets. He puts it out in publications as an anonymous source already. I mean, it's all good. We get what's going on. It's frustrating. I'm sure Marcus Maye's even more frustrated that he's 0-3 and he's playing lights out. And he probably doesn't like what he sees from the offense. And he's probably like, you know what? Like, kind of like, let's see what you can do without me. I think he wasn't privy to the fact that Julio Jones and AJ Brown might not be going this week for the Tennessee Titans. So the Jets actually do have their work cut out for them a little bit in that aspect because the Tennessee Titans live and die by Derrick Henry. We all know that.
Yep.
And fortunately for the Jets, that's their strong point. I mean, their strong point is to guard the run. So I'm hoping that we can keep this to an ugly game. We have a better defense than Tennessee. Tennessee's defense has been doing better than projected. The Jets, obviously, their defense has been doing better than projected. I think their D-line really showed up last week, especially Quinton Williams has been on. You mentioned Sheldon Rankins. I don't think the cornerbacks are as good as the stats show, which is probably the craziest statement. Even if you told me 3 weeks ago I was going to say that statement, I would have called you literally insane. But they've been playing so well, and I don't think they're going to be tested this week. This is a big week for the Jets, man. This is a big week for them to come up and show the NFL that they're not a joke. I mean, I know that's silly, but like Robert Saleh, he's a first-time coach. There's first-time coaches on the offense. There's first-time coaches everywhere, and there's pride on the line. Okay, there
literally,
is solace,
figuratively and literally speaking.
Yeah, exactly. And there's some solace, right? That no rookie quarterback has won yet, besides Mac Jones, who had to play, of course, Zach Wilson. So there is some solace there. It's not like they're doing something completely wrong. However, it's really if we can capitalize with Julio Jones, we don't know if they're going to be out, but just as of today, like Taylor Lewan didn't practice, their left tackle, Bud Dupree, Merkinson, Julio Jones, AJ Brown. I think Farley didn't, and then they had some limited guys. That I'm sure going to play. We'll see as the week goes on. We had some pretty big injuries. I think in Marcus Maye, I think that's our number. I would say my number one guy. I wouldn't want to go down. Number two, probably CJ Mosley at this point.
Yeah.
So it's not fun, but Do you
It's
have
not.
just an outlook on, you know, you don't have to say exactly what you expect from, the overall game, but just what you expect from this defense, at least with Marcus Maye
From the
out.
Jets defense. I
Yeah, because
mean,
Marcus
we
Maye is
don't.
out, dude. We haven't seen like my whole for the last since Marcus Maye has been drafted. It's really been if Marcus Maye's out, the Jets stink. Almost like my Darius Leonard Colts action. Like if Darius
Oh
Leonard's
my
out for
goodness.
the Colts stink. If
Yeah,
Marcus Maye's out for the Jets stink.
yeah.
So what are we gonna
Call
do
it
these
a
next 3 to 4 weeks, man?
call it a wrap. Well, for this game, as you pointed out, Derrick Henry is the monster that we have to look out for, right? I mean, Derrick Henry, outside of his first game, the last 2 games, he got 35 attempts against the Seattle Seahawks for 182 yards, and then 28 attempts against the Indianapolis Colts for 113 yards. Got 3 touchdowns against the Seattle Seahawks, by the way. No touchdowns against the Indianapolis Colts, but
The defense stinks, huh?
yeah, but
Yeah. Shout out
Seattle's
33.
defense. Thank you.
Yo, hopefully that's
Whose
a
name will
top
not
10
be
pick,
said.
but whatever.
Whose
I
name will not
digress.
be said on this podcast. Thank you for giving us a first rounder for this upcoming season. Anyway, yeah, no, Derrick Henry is the guy that we're gonna have to pay attention to because that's how the Tennessee Titans like to get their game. They like to get the ground and pound going, make sure that he controls the tempo of how Ryan Tannehill can then use the play action, escape to his right or left, and then start looking for AJ Brown or whoever down the field. You mentioned Julio Jones is questionable for this upcoming week, so Julio Jones hasn't really been utilized yet, and he's still trying to figure things. Last week, but not fully to the extent like through the first couple of weeks that still trying to get through.
Don't slander Julio, bro.
I'm not slandering Julio. I'm just talking about the connection between Tannehill and Julio. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying Julio's bad. I'm terrified because this is actually, in my opinion, this is the best wide receiver core up until now that the Jets are going to have to face. So this is going to be a true test for a corner. So
we've been getting lucky, bro. Jerry Judy's out. These boys are out. We've been getting lucky.
If Julio Jones is out, that is out. Yeah. I think AJ Brown is definitely out. But this is who they have to look at to see who are they going to have to go up against. But I think the cornerbacks may get lucky without AJ Brown if Julio Jones doesn't suit up for this week. But who are you going to have to then worry about? You're going to have to worry about Nick Westbrook. Well, I don't even know how to pronounce that last name. I'm not even going to try. I don't even know how to do it.
It's fine.
The name. So, but there's
not many names.
He was like the leading receiver last week against the Indianapolis Colts. So, the Jets secondary does, depending on if Julio plays or not, may have a lighter workload than expected. So, I'm not too worried about the secondary, but I'm definitely worried about the front because Derrick Henry is also a running back that we haven't faced a running back like Derrick Henry. I guess Christian McCaffrey. We did a good job against Christian McCaffrey.
Melvin Gordon, Javonte Williams in one game.
Yeah, well, Melvin Gordon good. Yeah, the Broncos running back tandem is good. I think Christian McCaffrey is the best running back,
of course,
that we've faced.
He might be the best player
now to this point. Yeah, but who do you put? So who would you put him over? Derrick Henry or Christian McCaffrey?
I think they're just a different style.
They're very different because Christian McCaffrey is an all-around running back.
He's going to catch out of the pass catcher.
He can do everything, so you really have to game plan for Christian McCaffrey. Derrick Henry is
he's going to run it down your throat, and I think CJ Mosley is going to catch him. Like a little Bama on Bama crime on Sunday after a huge Alabama Ole Miss game. It's beautiful. It's just it's prime. The weather is getting very fally around here. It's a second home game. Zach Wilson was really hyped about the first game. I'm just hoping that the Jets get this win, man. And the Vegas line is a little fishy. It's a little fishy. They're giving the Jets that 7 and a hook. I don't know why they're giving the Jets the hook. It's a little fishy. That's all I'm saying. Maybe they'll lose by a touchdown. The over-under dropped from 48 to 44 and a half, which means Vegas thinks it's going to be a sloppy, one-score game. I mean, that's what the tea leaves say. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see
on that front. Do you think that all this social media stuff affects the actual players at all? Or do you think that the narrative or do you think that more the narrative of, hey, I'm 0-3, our backs are against the wall, we just need the W? Like, do you think those two things factor into each other?
So if you're gonna ask me, do I think players are they affected by trolls on social media? I think to a certain degree, like they're human. Like I don't think it will cripple them or it's going to,
Yeah.
you know, be in their mind as they're playing. Like I don't think Connor.
Because I'm wondering, like, we're
I don't
coming
think I
home
don't.
right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Jets are coming home versus the Titans. Like, we're 0-3. Like, do you think they're just like, oh my God? Like, because if we come out with an 0-3, dude, they're gonna get booed. If we come out with a third down, a 3 and out right away, we're gonna get booed. And then what?
Oh yes, absolutely. I think at
That's
that
my
point
question.
you have,
like,
but you have to
know, like,
but at that point, if you can't, this is like, look, if you can't handle that point, then maybe just don't think about signing with New York at all. Like I know New York is a different beast by the intensity of the media, the fans, like the expectations, especially Jets fans. We haven't seen a winning, like a real good winning team. I say from Rex Ryan, even though yes, we had Ryan Fitzpatrick take us that 10-6 season, but that was like not sustainable whatsoever. You knew like maybe, like there was always that question like maybe, but it wasn't truly sustainable. So do I think that it plays an impact? Maybe like slightly, like it'll get into the rain. I think the real thing though is what you said, is that they're 0-3 with their backs against the wall. You're going to have, you know, Brian Costello, you're going to have Rich Samini, you're going to have DJ Bieniemy start asking you questions like, all right, guys, if you're 0-4, you're going to get the heat of the New York media saying, all right, guys, if you're 0-4, you're 0-4. How are you feeling right now? What's happening? What do you think you guys are doing wrong? You're gonna start getting all those questions. What do you think you can do better? You know, and then if your response is what, I'm sorry, I can't stand what Van Roten said about Zach Wilson. It's like, dude, like I know you brought up your accountability afterwards.
You're just wrong. That's why I'm annoyed.
But yeah, it's not just that, because he's not completely wrong. I won't do it on that, because he's supposed to be a veteran. But hold on, he's supposed to be a veteran. You shouldn't throw your rookie quarterback under the bus. Like that is completely wrong on that aspect. Is he right that in some instances Zach needs to get rid of the ball quickly? Yes, but it's not completely Zach's fault. And then to follow up saying, we got to be better, you got to be better. It's like, come on, dude, that is just such a bullshit way to like respond to that answer. You could just say, hey, we didn't play well as a team. We have to come back and be better. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. You want to point out your rookie quarterback? That's my biggest gripe, is that your finger pointing at your rookie quarterback. You're a veteran on this team. You're also a tri-state area like native. Like you rooted for the Jets, and this is what you want to do. Like you want to cause controversy. That is such a hot quote to take, right? And you saw how people were running with it everywhere, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, everyone was talking about it. You couldn't miss it because you have your right guard, who, by the way, is one of the reasons Zach Wilson's getting creamed on a day-to-day
he's rated
basis.
One of the worst right guards in the NFL, or offensive lineman in general,
and rightfully so
by PFF.
Okay, rightfully so. Yeah, we know we know you're out there with your burner account trying to protect yourself. It's okay. Don't worry.
You literally messaged us. You literally messaged us with your burner
actually,
account. We
know. You literally did that.
And then you deleted it, but we got it.
Yeah, it's okay. But look, that's my issue with that. I think for the Jets this week offensively, you have to just come out and just get Zach Wilson to rhythm, establish a run, and not rely heavily on him. That's what I believe.
Yeah. Well, my key matchups, like listen, Corey Davis, there are some passes where they're forcing it to him, but he has Janoris Jenkins on him. Like if we can't get free on Janoris Jenkins, like God help us. We need Jameson Crowder to play. We need Braxton Berrios to not drop passes. And I would really like something from Keelan Cole and, you know, am I allowed to say Denzel Mims without someone yelling at me? Like, I don't know. Could we ever have a second round pick who's going to do anything ever? It's ridiculous. But anyway, Elijah Moore.
We just got to trade those, man.
I know, for real. I never want to draft in the second round ever again. I'm not joking. Like, literally take it. But anyway, I am looking forward to seeing how our running backs are going to respond to blocking. Our tight ends, we're carrying extra tight ends on the line, and they're still not blocking, right? in the past, at least. Tyler Croft is limited this week. I assume he's going to play. He had some nice catches last week, though. Ryan Griffin, tough on the block, a guy that we cut and re-signed. So he's on that. He's on the block.
First signing, by the way. I just like to bring that
I
up.
know you love that. It's so funny. He's definitely a fan favorite. I'll turn on the Jets pod as well. Will Parkinson, he can't stand Ryan Griffin. He always goes off on him. Anyway,
he had one good season in Houston and then had a good half.
I know. Maybe this is the week that Yeboah, gets a snap or two. But I mean, there is something to say that the Titans are really good against the tight ends. But so are we. I just honestly, if we stop the run, I know I keep going back to it. I don't know where the Titans are going to score points. And obviously the Jets haven't scored a touchdown in 8 quarters. So I can't say where the Jets are going to score points because they haven't.
I think
so it just seems like it's going to be a sloppy game. If Bud Dupree doesn't play, bro, if Bud Dupree doesn't play and the running backs really don't have that much pressure on them because they did improve. Like Michael Carter did have a couple good chips. Like we're joking, can we just get a chip or two? He did have a couple blocks. Ty Johnson tried a couple times. Like he was sort of successful, but like sometimes it's Von Miller. You know what I mean? Like one time I always say Morgan Moses, Von Miller just went around him. Like, what are you going to do? It doesn't mean that Morgan Moses is bad. It just means that 58 is a Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like he also beat McGovern a couple of times. Like, what are you going to do? So if Bud Dupree's out, who's a really good player, I really think that the Jets will be able to hold back any blitzes. I don't think it's going to be too complicated. I think the Titans are frauds in general. I'm really not impressed by any of their games. I say we might be the best defense they're going to face.
No, I don't think you'd be far fetched to say that. I mean, they played the Colts who can't stop a nosebleed. They played the Seattle Seahawks who also can't stop a nosebleed. And, the Titans play the Arizona Cardinals, who I think are actually like a good team. I think this is actually a chance for the Jets to score a touchdown. I don't think they'll go.
Oh, hot take.
I know, right? I think the Jets will come out and give us a touchdown. I won't say they'll give us numerous touchdowns, but I think they'll come out, have some like good drives. I think things will start to click. I think it's hard for me to say that they'll win just because I think it's so hard to come back.
It should be hard for anyone to say that, apparently. Like,
No. It's not, but I'm not trying to be facetious. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I think from how bad it was from week 2 with 4 interceptions to last week when no one can catch the ball, it's just hard for me to say, okay, all this gets ironed out in 1 week and then everything starts clicking again. So I think if that is to happen, I think it would be the following week when you have a really good matchup against the Atlanta Falcons to really iron all those kinks out, and not necessarily this week. I don't think the Titans are a great team. I think they're probably a C+, B- team based on how they're built.
Yeah, I would
somewhere
say
around
C+.
there. So
especially without their star wide receivers, bro. I think that's a big issue.
Yeah, and that's where
Bud Dupree, bro. And if the left tackle's out, holy crap.
Yeah, so this is where it comes down to like a CC plus then, because I don't know how their backups are going to fill in. But this is the type of game you can see the Jets starting to iron some kinks out and saying, okay, we had a nice 8-play drive, even though it ended in a punt. Okay, the next one was like 10 plays. It still ended a punt or a field goal. Okay, there's the 1 touchdown for the game. But you at least you can get to see some progress. And once again, that's what we want to see out of this season. We're a very young team. I just want to see some adjustments from the coaching staff. I want to see some adjustments from Zach Wilson and like do the dink and dunks, see to establish a run game, see that we actually can utilize our offensive line for the run blocking that they have. Pass blocking is just so hit or miss, man. Like this is the week to start ironing those kinks out. Looking ahead against the Falcons, that's if they can do what I'm just saying this week and then follow up with the Falcons, then I think they can get on track to be a competitive team, not a winning team, but a competitive team.
So scared to say the Jets are going to win.
I can't do it yet, man. It's like, look, 11 years of trauma, man. It's 11 years of trauma. It's very hard. I gave you the bold prediction. I thought they were going to beat the Patriots. I legit thought they were going to beat the Patriots. And I think that was and they should have.
They got
was the
that
game
fumble,
to do it.
But whatever.
Yeah, and that was a game they should have. If they have done that, I can really be sitting like high and be like, okay, I know what this team is now. And the fact that Zach Wilson had a really bad game, it's really hard. It's just hard, man, because he's a rookie, and it's so hard to
It's
gauge when's the rookie going to come out and look like the guy, because he's going to have the flashes where you say, hey, that's the quarterback of the future of this team. That's the franchise quarterback. I see him putting it all together, even if for one game, right? Even when we had it with Sam Darnold, it would be those 1, 2, maybe 3 games where he looked like he had it all together, where he could read the defense, like attack the zone, attack the man coverage, know when to like extend the play, roll out, utilize play action really well, understand how to well, not under Adam Gase, but when he was with Bowles, to audible at the line a little bit. Those type of things, man. That's what I want to see. So we'll see this week for the Jets and Zach Wilson and the offense to see if they can finally put it together. You got any remaining words that you want to say about this team?
I just think they have a chance to put it together if they dink and dunk the season, sort of say. Like if they like just beat the Titans, which I think is an easy task. All things considered. Every game is difficult, but all things considered, I think it's an easy task. Coming home, momentum's on your side. You're desperate. They just come off a tough game versus the Colts. They have injuries everywhere. Literally every single important position, they have an injury. Their strength is our strength. Like we have a chance here. And if we, dink and dunk it, we win this game, and then we are able to, beat Atlanta on a neutral field in London, right in front of my face. And then we go into a bye week. We're 2-3. The narrative is salvaged. Your season salvaged. Everything's different. You know what I mean? And all you have to do is beat the limping in Tennessee Titans, which I think are overrated, and I don't think anyone is even rating them high. I think they're still overrated. And the Atlanta Falcons, which I think are the worst team in football after the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I don't think the Jets are too far behind. And the Giants are right there too. Like I think the Falcons are terrible. I think beating those two teams, you couldn't ask for a better get up games. And dude, Fat Randy, Fat Randy Bullock, the Titans kicker, is chilling on that sideline. Hopefully he gets a mess up. Maybe this is the week that we don't actually mess up on special teams. You've been laughing at me because I've been talking about special teams is important. Every single week we've messed up on special teams, and every single week we've lost. Can we just have 1 week where we just have a perfect day on special teams? I promise you we're gonna win. Like let's punt it. Let's not get injured. Everyone, let's hit 56 yarders and not get it called back for a delay of game. Like let's just do stuff like that's correct.
That would be nice.
And punt it, dude. I want to punt. Just don't turn over the ball. Please punt it. Like I would love to see Morstead all game. I usually cry, right? Oh God, we have to see the punt. Please punt the ball. Like that. Nothing would make me happier than punting this week. But I really think that the Jets are going to be conservative to a point. The one gripe I have a lot of gripes, but the biggest gripe I have
we're
with
Jets fans. We should have a lot of gripes.
no, with the criticisms of the Jets, because a lot of them are warranted. You know what I mean? The one thing is you're saying LaFleur is not creative. He's so creative. Like
who said that?
I could bring out like me, an amateur. I could literally bring you out tape of just last week of him being completely creative. He's running the RPOs. He's running the play actions. He's running the wide receiver screens. I know that they're still, by statistical numbers, running one of the lowest wide receiver screen rates. And so it's just easy to look at that, but he's doing everything, and he's moving him around, and Zach Wilson's getting out of the pocket and he's evading, but we're getting drops at the end of that. Or on third down, he has Michael Carter. I know the ball was tipped. That was a 30-yard touchdown. There's these little things, and I'm just gonna go back. My last point. I'm just gonna go back with Zach Wilson, and it's the first time I feel like he wasn't BSing. Literally this entire time since we've drafted him, and he was just like, man, there's just little things on every single play, and we know that it takes all 11 people, and he's totally right. Like there are some plays like that third down on the first drive of the game. everybody was perfect. The offensive line was perfect. Everybody ran perfect routes. Actually, they ran that same route with all three levels, and they did run it. They run perfectly. And then Elijah Moore was on the out, and he threw it like 7 yards short. You know what I mean? Like that was his fault. There was 10 players that did everything correct, including the tight ends, including the running backs, including the wide receivers, the coaches, but Zach Wilson didn't. You know what I mean? And then the next time, Zach Wilson had everything right, but the wide receiver didn't. And the next time, the tight end didn't. The next time, the running back didn't. And so it's really, I don't think it's that crazy. And I think we're taking for granted how good the left side of the line is. I think we're taking for granted how good the defensive line has been. I think we're taking for granted how good the cornerbacks have been. And our game plans, we haven't been out of any game, even though it looks like we're out of every single game by the end score. We haven't been out. So that's the only thing I'm saying. And like, that's why video producer Greg and my family members, including my brother, who thinks I'm nuts going to London for this game, and everybody who I talk to thinks I'm absolutely crazy for still like sticking up for this team and like still believing in them at this moment, is because everything I'm watching, it doesn't look that bad. And so 7 in the hook, I'm taking it. Am I taking the win? Of course, just for these next two games. Like if we get these 2 losses in a row, like I'm gonna take the win for the next 2. If we take the next 2 losses for the row, I'm out. That's it. That's it, Alex. Like it took me up till week 4 last year, past the Denver Thursday game, right? This week it's gonna take me again past week 4, and I called this in the offseason. Like past this London game, I have to keep it up to the London game. If we go 0 for 5 into the bye, it's over. So it's over. So we have to get 2 wins here. So I'm starting it here. I'm taking the 7.5. I'm feeling okay. The Marcus Maye thing really hurts my physical heart. Right, I don't feel good about it. I don't feel good at all about this whole Marcus Maye being out. It's gonna be tough without him. We're gonna get tested. I'm just glad that the Browns, the AJ Browns, and the Julio Joneses are gonna be there to battle test. And Jonnu Smith is gone. It's just Derrick Henry, and that's our strength. So that's where my confidence is coming from. I'm not being insane. Like I'm really, from my perspective, I'm not being a complete homer and being crazy, but obviously I'm calling the Jets to win a game, and it also will help me in my survivor leagues. I think 36% of the leagues are taking, of all leagues are taking the Tennessee Titans. Like just give me the W, like just give me the 1 win. Like I just need it, man. I just need it this Sunday, please. I can't go to London. I can't get on a flight to London, bro. 0-4. I just can't do it, dude. I can't do it. I have to go see my family members in Paris on Saturday. Like I'm going to London on Friday, and then Thursday night into Friday. I'm going to Paris on Saturday, see my cousins for, just for the day. I can't tell them I'm here to see my 0-4 Jets, bro. I can't. I need a win. I need a win. That's all I'm gonna say. I love
this rant. I love this rant. And to end it, and to give you some confidence, just to let you know that the Tennessee Titans are now ranked 24 out of 32 teams in the NFL for points allowed with 84 points. They have a differential of -13. They've only forced 71 points. That's also because they've allowed, the Seahawks and everyone else just to score on them, except the Indianapolis Colts. So
we can't score on anyone. So this might be the time. That's what
I'm saying. This might be the chance that we get that. That's all I'm saying, is that we might get the touchdown that we've all been asking for. At least we won't go. However, let's just not go 12 quarters.
Oh my goodness! Oh, that
not
too.
Do that.
Oh yeah. When's the last time you scored? Oh, let me go back to the preseason, bro.
But you know what?
Go back to week 1 real quick. I got this one quick touchdown.
But before we end out, because of your beautiful rant on how you're not crazy, you still see stuff in this team. I see good stuff in this team too. I'm not in disagreement with you. We just gotta let Greg come in here and see if he wants to add any voice of reason, be the God voice that we have for this. If you're watching on the YouTube, where it seems like God's just talking down
Greg
upon us.
Catch Greg weekly on Winning Picks Weekly, going through the slate. He actually redeemed himself week 3. He had a pretty good week, over 500. Good on the best bets.
I can't wait for the next episode to drop tomorrow, so that way I can get ready for my survivor pool. Really need your guys' help. Really do. This week's a tough one. So, Greg, you have any
thoughts on Jets Titans?
Sombering thoughts?
I mean, yeah, sure. Like, I can sum it up in one sentence.
Oh, here we go.
John's a crazy person. So when you say, I'm not crazy, but you're crazy. So I think we're averaging 6 points a game right now. The offense is
No,
rough.
I think it's low. It's lower. It has to be lower than average of 6 if it's scored a
I think that's.
touchdown.
I'm looking at ESPN. I think it's what it has is 6, which is
Okay.
just,
Hey.
unbelievably embarrassing. Like to your point, we're talking about gambling coming up on the next show, so follow us there. To cover 7.5, maybe we have a shot because the Tennessee Titans defense is so bad, but our offense is just as bad. So we'll see how it goes.
It's a good
But
recipe.
yeah,
It's
just
a
keep
really good
that in
recipe.
mind. I think 0-4 is coming, John. I feel bad for you and going overseas, but I think we got a shot at Atlanta next week. I'm really looking ahead to that.
Oh God! I hope the Jets aren't looking ahead.
Oh man. Well, there you go with
Voice of reason, my ass.
video producer Greg with the voice of reason coming in
In my
like God on
ass.
the coming in like God on the YouTube channel. Just coming in as like a guy sitting next to us on the podcast. You've listened to us there.
The unmitigated gall.
Yeah. But I think that wraps it up. Well, before I say we wrap it up, John, what do you think the score is for the Jets and Titans? And I'll give you my score.
Give me 16-13 Jets.
16-13 Jets. Oh man. Yeah, if they're out of the receivers, I could see this. Actually, I think that's a really good score. 16-13 is actually a really good score. I think we're gonna go. I'm actually going to double with you on that because
Do this all day, baby. Do this every week, Alex.
I like that.
Catch winning picks weekly, baby.
I've been listening. How about you, Greg? What do you got for your score?
Wait, you have the Jets 16-13 also? You have the same
Same score for
Titans
though. Titans
winning.
winning.
Opposite. Okay.
Okay. You're flipping it. I'm going Titans 24, Jets 10. We get a touchdown this week, boys.
Ooh.
We get a touchdown this
yeah.
week.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
what I'm saying.
We get
I like it.
touchdown.
I got us with maybe it's one touchdown and a bunch of field goals. I don't know. Why not? One touchdown, 3 field goals. That sounds good for Ammendola. Why not? 16-13, right. Baby. Let's do it.
So strange hearing Ammendola and being on the New York Jets. That name.
Oh, all right. He banged in that 56-yarder. I feel so bad.
Yeah.
I feel so bad that got called back by the new punter, Holder Morstead. It's tough. It's tough out here.
Yeah, it is tough out here. But on that note, that is it for the Jets episode of the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. If you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, please make sure to give us a 5-star review and to leave us a comment. That helps oh so dearly. But if you don't listen to us on Apple Podcasts, it's okay because we're on Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, Alexa, Stitcher, you name it, we are there. On top of that, if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, I'm talking to all you people right there, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Do it. You need to do it for all of us. And last but not least, please make sure to follow us on all social media platforms. We're on Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, Alexa, Stitcher, you name it. We are. Whoa, what am I talking about? I just did that. Whoa. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but say, did you
whoa. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
The glitch.
God, TikTok.
Glitch in the Matrix.
It was a glitch in the Matrix. Someone just came in like, wow, really just took over my body for a second.
You need a Jets win, man. You just need a Jets win.
I just really needed a Jets win at that point. Really just needed a Jets win. But thank you everyone for listening to another Jets episode of the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. We'll catch you later next week for another Jets instant reaction.